This is a lot of stuff on my desk because it's all about testing this mini power station right here. And I've been plugging absolutely everything into it, and the results might surprise you. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety Milwaukee Triple XL, and on today's show we have another Titan Elecstor-ECO product from Apex Interactive, this time being the absolute top model. This is their literal mini power station. There's 80,000 miles worth of power inside of the system. That's for like high-end battery banks if you are like keeping track, and your phone with 3,000 to 5,000 milliamps, that's like 40 charges through of your phone. So yeah, there's quite a bit of power here. It does present as a bit of a car battery. It's not the smallest and lightest piece of kit, but it's actually very mobile. That being said, it's not overly heavy. I would think that 80,000 miles would feel a bit heavier than this. I've got a 20,000 milliamp battery myself, and you know, power bank just for those emergencies, and when you're out and about, they are very convenient. And that's exactly the idea with this, is to be as convenient a product as humanly possible. So before we get into me powering all of these devices and showing you what happens, let's start off with what's in the box. Well, there's obviously the power unit itself. You get this really cool 12-volt device adapter for like car adapter plug. Basically, you know, like the car input, the cigarette lighter input that you have on your car. This, you just get this piece with the input on the other side. So you can actually select the voltage. If that unit would have its own sort of step up or step down transformer, you probably wouldn't need that. You could just plug it into the appropriate voltage on the front over here. So I love that they include it like this, and the way they've done this. This is a very cool little touch. Then obviously you get the power bank itself, 19 volts, 3.75 amps output from that. So it's basically the same as like most laptop chargers. They generally fall within the 19 volt and sort of up to about 5 amp region for your average daily laptop. Has a figure 8 on the other side of it for the input, which is quite nice because easily replaceable. These are kind of dime a dozen. You could walk into pretty much any electronics store and pick one up. So nice, easy replaceable parts. I mean, even this being a 19 volt 3.75 adapter, if you lost this or this broke, you could probably quite easily replace it from a place like Laptop Accessories that sell you know, universal auto wattage chargers that go 19 volt up to 5 amp. You would be able to just connect that into here and carry on charging your unit. So very good like base setup and accessories and stuff that come with the unit. Then we have the unit itself. So let's start on the back because it's an easier starting point. On the back, there's literally just a flashlight. Extremely bright, but convenient. It does have a flash mode as well, so if you need to strobe, you can do that. On the bottom, two nice big pieces of rubberizing on the feet. Nothing really else there to speak about. On the left-hand side from the front like this, you will see the output for one of the fans that is in here for the cooling, and then your 19 volt input. And then on the right-hand side, you have that Titan logo there at the bottom with an intake fan. So this intakes at the top and pulls right through the top of the unit like that. Just really, really cool, and is going to give it very good lifetime because these batteries are quite temperature sensitive or lithium. So that's really good for its implied lifetime, that it is going to just last longer because it's being kept cool. Like it's got its own little Venturi style wind tunnel going through the top of it. It's like half a sports car over here as well. Very, very nice, very clever. Now we get to the front, where there's a lot going on. So you have your indicator panel up the top middle, and it'll show you the different types of inputs and outputs that are basically ready to be used. The AC button next to it can be used to turn on and off the AC devices over there, and then obviously you have your power button on the right hand side to turn on and off the battery bank or UPS system in this case by itself. Then you've got a myriad, a literal myriad of USB outputs. 5 volt, 1 amp, 2 amp, 3 amp. You've got your QC 3.0, 18 watts times 2 over there. So it does have that certified quick charging amongst the USB type A's. So that's really nice. And then it's certified 18 watt output, etc. And you can't get that cert without the device being delivered to them for them to do the certification. So you know it's legitimate off the back foot. Really nice. Below that, you've got two USB-C outs, one of them at 18 and another one at 27. Then on the left-hand side, you've got DC outs, and this is automatic voltage control between 12 and 16.5. So you can just connect your device and it'll automatically create the voltage control for you on the output, which is pretty sick that it's got that protection service and stuff built in. Just more longevity for the devices and stuff that are used in and around this unit. Then below that, you've noticed there's two 3-pin plugs, and with a total AC out of 300 watts, which would be its absolute maximum for an hour. This can do an hour at 220 volt, 300 watts, which is nothing to stick your nose up at, considering your TV is like 50, 60 watts. So 6 hours worth of load shedding, no problem, because this will literally keep you going straight through, right throughout. Now, this is where we come to our testing portion and what I've done to test this. So at the moment, you can see it has been used. I have gone 20% off of the battery because I wanted to double confirm with a 24 watt output device, something I know is exact. With the routers and stuff, they tend to fluctuate, but if you have a monitor going and there's movement on that monitor and it's set at its max brightness, it's going to use all 24 watts all the time. So I did a test with that again this morning. My other test on my own TMI router came out to just under 19 hours, and I rated that at about a 30 amp circuit. So it was obviously closer to 15, because if it was 30 amp, it would have done exactly 10 off of this unit. But now with a 24 volt or 24 watt setup, I've used 20% in 3 hours. So it'll get 15 hours. So their claims of this doing exactly 300 watts are pretty much, if you do the math, they're pretty much exactly correct. So once again, Apex Interactive does an incredibly good job of testing and understanding their device and then marketing it accurately to you guys as the consumers, which is just fantastic to see. I'm pleased to report there's absolutely no tomfoolery going on here. Now, this is exactly what I was hoping would happen in the middle of the review, and it couldn't have come at a better time because the cooling does make a little bit of a noise. I wanted you to hear it over the mic as well, so you can see it's not like interfering with you. It's just a little audible hum that comes from the fans, and I'm right on top of it. If this is stuck in a corner next to your TV and you're sitting on the couch listening to your TV, you're probably not going to hear it. It would be very similar to the volume that I have over the device. You can hear it's there in the background, but it's not uberly intrusive. So they've done a good job to get the bass stuff correct and the wattage and output in line with what it should be. Now, that's not to say we have been incident free over here. This is where the show and tell is going to go to another level. Why I had these two PCs over here to my left. So 24 watt monitor, you can see I can turn it on and it'll give me max brightness and stuff immediately, and it works absolutely flawlessly. And I ran it like that for a couple of hours with just some YouTube playlist playing through it basically, so that there was activity and stuff like I said on the screen. But when I got over to testing PCs, what's happening is there's just not enough current from this to turn on like a high-end gaming power supply. So I have two 850 watt golds, one of them being Antec, another being Deepcool, and they're both 80 plus gold certified. So they have a little bit more current draw just to turn themselves on properly than a normal, say, 450 watt off-the-shelf power supply. And the result of that is this. I'm going to give you a live demonstration now. So if I plug in this kettle plug now, take it out of the retro PC, which is extremely dusty. It has been sitting in a corner for a little while. I gave away the graphics card, so I had no way to use it until I got a new graphics card recently for it, because it can only use like old stuff. Anyway, long story short, we connect in here, power is on, we hit the power, and that's what's going to happen. If you try to connect a high wattage or high current device that goes over this thing's current, it's not going to supply the electricity. Even though what's in this machine is actually just a 5700G, it doesn't even have a GPU in it right now. It's literally just a 5700G with 16 gig RAM and not even an NVMe. The storage isn't even in here. It's actually still sitting at Asus from last year. Things were a little bit chaotic end of last year, okay? Give me a break. But this isn't even a full PC. It's just because the power supply can't actually get the amperage it needs. So I would say your limit on this is probably going to be like entry level 600 watt power supplies or mid-range 600 watt power supplies. Because when I do this exact same test over here on a just default 450 watt, standard off the shelf power supply, it boots immediately with absolutely no issues. The machine is on. So yeah, well, now you can hear the fan even. Machine boots up perfectly. No on off because the switching system in the power supply is getting enough amperage. So what I think this unit is going to be absolutely perfect for, based on my tests over here, is don't rely on it as an online UPS system for your PC. For a laptop, for a TV, for stuff like that, you should be absolutely perfect. If you have it connected up with the cables and then the AC devices out of the front over here, you're going to be just fine. If you're looking at it for like just to keep your work PC on or something like that for 2-3 hours during the load shedding times, that's going to be absolutely perfect, because a standard like work PC or laptop uses about 60 watts, about the same as a normal computer. Charge time on this guy, with that in mind, is going to be about 7 hours for you to get it to go from flat to full. I discharged it completely. I had it running my router for, like I said, just over 19 hours, and it then eventually did die, and then I charged it flat to full. It took about 7 hours, completely flat to full, which is also not great for the battery. But I think that this has a protection system in it where it doesn't discharge maybe the last 10 or 15%, because it does seem like they've built in a lot of the control systems and stuff around the battery health, like having this cooling, for instance. It's very much in line with the behavior of the lithium. So this is the way that this is set up. It's basically as a backup for like your TV or your phone, or those sort of level devices. I'd say up to about 150 watt. Even a gaming laptop will probably be absolutely perfect, because that adapter doesn't have a switching power supply system the way a PC does. So you can look at like add it for like a couple of hours on a gaming laptop. You'll probably get 2 to 3 on about a 150 watt or 100 to 150 watt or something like that. But for this particular application, your router and your TV, that's going to be a 70 watt draw into 300. That's like nearly 4 hours, dog. 4 hours, 280. It would be what? That would be 4 hours off of this guy over here. So that's, I think, exactly what it's been set up for. It's been set up for using stuff on the go where you don't maybe have access to your car. You don't want to leave your car running to charge your systems. Then you won't have to do that with this. So very nicely done. I absolutely love it. I think the price point is okay at 7,000 Rand. I would like to see it maybe come down a little bit. Obviously demand is extremely high right now, but if you're worried about the quality of the product, it's functioning, it's exactly what it says on the box. I've literally given you the live demonstration of it. So yeah, it works damn well. Anywho, if you have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe. Every little bit helps, and I will see you on the flip side.
Es el sueño